What's going on, guys? We got some new stock in I want to tell you guys about. If you go to hostile.com and you check out our new releases section, these are some of my favorite pieces. We have the new Ethos hoodie, which is a lightweight hoodie. We have it in different colors, black, khaki, brown, and dark moss, which is really kind of like a military green. And then if you go back, we have another one of this is probably my absolute favorite, which is kind of a lightweight thermal. It is a little bit baggier than normal. So if you want it not so baggy, size down on it, but we have black, athletic heather gray, forest green, steel blue, and flat red. Hostile.com. Check new drops. Also, next week we have more Blue Shark gummy in stock, and Bloodshot is coming back soon too. Sorry guys for the delay. We've had such a massive increase in demand for Hostile that we had to kind of revamp things, and we're going to be all caught up, and things will not be out of stock for so long ever again. Thank you guys for the support, and on to the show. What's up,
Doing good.
What's up, Urs?
It's crazy. It was my fucking last leg day today.
Yeah, how hard was it? Is your last leg day super hard, or is it like easing into the show?
Honestly, it was super hard because over the past few years, I tried some different things out. And when we keep in mind, it's still 11 days until the show.
Yeah.
But for my legs, I need to say, I can't like, we already talked about it. I can't go in it and say like, yeah, I'm doing like a 70, 80-ish% leg day. So I
Yeah, but
bust my ass today one last time, and then I need this time to recover after 5 days. They are still like sore a little bit
yeah, I
when you
know.
sit on
Yeah.
the toilet and stuff like this. And then imagine on day seven you step on stage. So what I realized is the inflammation and everything goes out, and then 10 days after it looks like
Yeah, it's
crazy.
dry. So
Yeah.
you hit today is what? Today's Thursday, Wednesday. So you hit today really hard. You're not going to hit him again all the way to the show.
No, I don't think so.
You won't do any kind of like pump work or anything next week.
I kept it in mind, but I'm flying out on Sunday, and I'm normally not the guy who's holding a lot of water from flying and bullshit like this, but
Mhm.
from traveling. I get flat with traveling, but that's okay. But I don't think I get another pump session in for legs.
Well, the thing is for your legs are your dominant body part. So you don't really need to like fill them back up. Even when they're flat, they're probably still
Yeah,
the
that's
best
what I
body.
wanted to say.
Yeah.
Maybe to all the listeners and athletes who preparing for the Detroit Pro, huh?
Yeah.
Or amateur show. Um, You need to try it out by yourself. What worked for you, Fuad, back in the days? I mean, you
My
also had super huge legs, but then uh, you did it 7 days out, or
honestly, my I never had any standout body parts. So for
but your
me,
legs were pretty good.
no, but like everything, it's weird. Everything pumped up and depleted almost evenly. So like, but
Yeah.
I noticed because I did a lot of cardio, I used to step mill a lot.
Mhm.
My legs would flatten out a little bit quicker than everything else. So I always had to do a pump day like the Wednesday before the show.
Okay, that's it.
I know some people think like, oh, it takes away separation and all that, but like I didn't do it hard enough that they would be super inflamed. I just did it enough to like fill some carbs into the muscle and round them back out before the
Okay.
show.
Yeah, because when you think about it, I mean, every time you train them, you deplete them even more.
Yeah.
And I, I
If you train them all the way, but
okay,
if you're just doing like a pump workout, it's almost like you're just pushing glycogen into the muscle. You know what I
but
mean?
yeah, are you doing it when you carb up? Because
Yes.
Wednesday was, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
But I mean,
So
for all the listeners and athletes, they need to look, and or you listener need to, yeah, look at your body and decide it. It's not
yeah.
because Fouad Abiad is doing it 10 days out, 7 days out, 5 days out. I know guys, they pump up backstage and pump up
Yeah.
their legs because they're just not big enough and they want to create
Yeah. But no,
more.
if we want to explain to people like the real reason, in my opinion, because your legs are so big, like you said, it takes a week or so for the inflammation to really go away, and then they even have to dry up even further. So
Yeah.
because your legs are so big, you can afford to stay away from them for 7 to 10 days, and they're probably the separations is probably going to get deeper and deeper and deeper, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I tested it. I tested it over the last years. That's another reason why I love to compete and do a lot of shows, because
yeah,
then you're like, okay, I know this works. And
yeah.
um, yeah, we definitely also go in with the Woody as well.
With the with the what?
With the vodka shots.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's
I
right.
tried it. I tried it in Texas because of Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
And
It,
he
it
said together with Kevin Levroni, and he said like, yeah, take two shots, and then the day after he won the fucking Olympia. So, and it really helped. I mean, I'm never drinking alcohol, but I slept like a baby, and next day I woke up,
yeah.
took another shot with an espresso, and then tanning and everything was smoother than never
Yeah.
before.
Well, I mean, there's something to be said for relaxing your nerves before a show. And I think if you do, a couple shots of, alcohol or whatever, it can definitely like calm you down a little bit and help you sleep, like you said. So
Yeah,
I don't see a problem with that at all. I mean, fuck, if Kevin Levroni's doing it, he's got to
that's
be doing something right, right?
mm.
Um, but no, going back to the peak, uh, what do you think is your worst body part? What's going on, guys? I've been working with Merrick Health now for 6 months. And I want to tell you guys that if I had somebody like this when I was younger, I would have made better gains and I would have been much healthier along the way. This is a resource that I don't think a lot of guys starting out, whether they're young or older, should let go by the wayside, because this is not something that was always available to us. So having a provider like Merrick Health to look over your hormones, make sure you're taking the right things at the right times, you're not taking too much or too little, making sure they're going over your blood work and make sure your health is good along the way with those hormones is absolutely priceless. So what I suggest is you go to merrickhealth.com/RBP. It's going to take you to a page where I got my blood panels done. This is the page here. There's a blood panel here for $120. This is just a blood panel that you can get with 53 different biomarkers that'll tell you what your blood work looks like. But you're going to be reading it by yourself. This is more important. This is the blood panel with the consultation. They're going to look at more biomarkers. They're going to look at all your hormones, and a consultant will sit with you and tell you what it means for you when it comes to optimizing your hormones, but also making sure you're healthy along the way. Guys, please use this resource while you're bodybuilding. Don't just ignore your health. merrickhealth.com/RBP. Use code RBP for the 10% off on your first order, and keep healthy while you're growing. Bodybuilding is a great sport. We want to make sure we're doing it in the safest way possible.
I would say it was my arm and my back, but over the time it was so I was so happy because Samson,
Shut up.
buddy.
Can you hear us, Samson? I don't think he's on all the way yet.
Where's my speakers? Where's my speakers?
I can hear you. You can't hear me. Can you hear me?
No.
No? You just answered me.
Hello, hello.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, hello?
Yeah,
Yo,
we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, okay,
What's going on,
now
Samson?
we're
How are you?
ready.
I'm good, man. How you guys doing?
I'm good, good. I thought I'd have the two winners of the Arnold Classic on the show before the show.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
uh Me and Urs were just talking about peaking for a show and what like body part you would stay away from before the show, what body part you would train before the show.
Oh,
So I asked Urs what he thought his weakest body part was. You said arms and back, or what do you think, Urs?
Yeah, it was, but what I wanted to say, I was so happy about the feedback of the judges the last time, especially when I asked like the head judges, they told me like it's amazing, your arms really came up, and that was like balm for my whole soul, because they said like, yeah, now they match like in they are not the biggest, and
Yeah.
of course they were gonna be, but they matched the physique, and I was like,
nice.
So the
You
reason
said, you It's that appreciation of your hard work, isn't it? That acknowledgement of your
Yeah,
hard work, knowing that it's
Yeah.
actually working and people can
yeah.
see it. It's always the best feeling, right?
Yeah, and
Hey,
now
Paul.
definitely I'm so happy about. Hey, Paul, what's up?
Hey
Hey,
guys,
Hey, Paul,
Hey,
how are
Paul.
you?
I'm
all
good. Sorry
good.
I'm late. Samson, nice to see you guys.
Hey, how's it
Fouad, of course,
going?
it's always a pleasure to see you,
Um,
Fouad.
I'm
good man, good
started to
man.
get excited right now because in
Uh,
not even in a week we're gonna see all of us in
Yeah,
yeah.
Ohio.
Uh,
So Urs, going back to what we're talking about with the peak,
Yeah.
I just want to put a button on this before we move on.
Mhm.
Uh, if you think your arms are the weakest body part, do you train those last before the stage, like to keep them full, or do you not think that way?
Honestly, I try to train them like the Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah,
So they're gonna be my one of my last sessions, like in shoulder and arm day, because the small body parts don't need too much recovery.
yeah,
And I think Monday or something, Monday is back, Tuesday is chest. Like I start with the biggest body parts
yep,
beginning of the week because all the inflammation needs time to go out.
yeah,
And then what I realized, like you always can do like an arm pump workout
yeah.
and shoulders, and you never feel your shoulders for a whole week. I mean,
I know.
uh, not even after 2 months of training. So yeah, that's my strategy. But I split it up. I don't go one body part for next week
Yeah,
per day. I do like those push pull
like a
leg.
push pull legs. Yeah. When you said you train legs, you're sore for 5 days.
Yeah.
There's probably going to be a lot of people that are angry and that are watching this because the common wisdom nowadays is that if you're sore for more than 2 or 3 days, you're overtraining. So
Really?
Yeah.
you're
yes.
overtraining, Urs. You're over.
Oh,
Can
gee.
I tell you something for
Fuck that.
me and Paul for my entire career, every time we train legs, it would be sore until like the day before. It was ready to train him again the next day, the next
Yeah,
week.
yeah. Get worse as the week went on,
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah, but haven't you guys heard that now? Like on these TikTok
I've heard
experts and
that one.
shit? You haven't
I
heard
haven't heard
that?
that one.
Yeah, if you try,
No,
it's
that's
funny.
hilarious.
I got to tell you though, there might be a little bit of truth to it because I remember John telling me that you got to dig a hole for yourself, but not dig a hole so deep that you can't get out of it.
Yeah,
So like,
over and
It's
over.
so
true.
sometimes being too sore for too long might be an issue. So I don't necessarily totally disagree with it, but most of
I
us
mean,
bodybuilders don't think that
I
way.
would
we do it.
agree with it. Sorry for interruption, but I would agree with it when you train your legs like twice a week.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all I was gonna say.
Yeah,
just
Hmm.
once
definitely.
a week, so I
Yeah,
can go
Yeah,
all in, and then you have the whole week to recover. If it
yeah,
would be my weak body part, and I would train it with more frequency, I definitely
yeah,
wouldn't like go all out with I don't know thousands of sets in
yeah.
like one session. I would split it up more
Samson,
intelligent.
Samson, what were you going to say about that?
I was gonna say, yeah, it's pretty much like that. If you're training, because most of us train like one muscle group once a week, right?
Right,
So by the end of that week, you go into the next one where you have to come around to do it again. It should be already healed. You shouldn't train it when you're already still sore.
right,
I would
right,
think
right.
more.
Urs, if you are going to train legs twice a week, because this was always my thought on it, if I was going to train legs twice a week, one day would be a heavy day and one day would be more of a pump day.
or more of a quad day, more of a ham day.
Well, there's that way too, but I'm saying like let's say you were going to train quads twice. I don't think I would like squat heavy and hack squat heavy and all that both days. I think one day would
Yeah.
be maybe leg press, leg extensions. The other day would be squat, hack squat, dominant. Like I
Mm.
would kind of mix things up a little bit.
I
But I
would
mean,
do it. I would
uh,
do it like Paul said. I would focus more on one hamstring
yeah,
day and one quad day.
yeah,
Makes more sense because
yeah,
your muscle don't feel if he can't feel it's a pump or it's like a heavy set. It's a stimulus on your muscle. So I don't see a point of going like one time up to 50 reps or something, and the other time just 4 to 6 super heavy
yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
reps. So
We used to do a quad day and a hamstring day, but at the end of each day, we would do one hamstring exercise on the quad day, and we would
yeah,
do one quad exercise on the hamstring day,
Hmm.
just to keep the legs
that's
full.
Yeah.
that's how I did it in the past,
Yeah,
where I trained legs twice a week
yeah, yeah, yeah.
for months.
So, Samson, how are you, man? How's everything going?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Everything's going well.
You're looking ready to travel. You're leaving tomorrow or the day after?
Next day after. So
Friday.
Friday night, head into the airport and flight first thing on Saturday morning.
Yeah, are you
You're up.
excited or what?
Yeah, I'm excited. Honestly, to be fair, man, I'm excited to get it over and done with because I'm exhausted. I'm tired of prepping, man. I want to get off and
Well,
relax and just
you only had how long did you have off after the Olympia? Like 6 weeks?
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Not even 4 weeks. I started
Jeez.
prep. I started playing on Boxing Day.
That's
Yeah.
That was,
1 week, brother.
Yeah.
I know, right?
I mean,
Okay.
the week after your
Yeah,
like rest, I was at your
we
place
were
and
there.
we
We were back to training.
yeah,
So it was like it wasn't even like a time
back
off.
at
It was just like,
training.
okay,
So 1 week was 1 week for you.
Well, in
Okay.
yeah.
the last year and a half or so, Samson, what's the longest break you've had?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Probably the one I have through the summer and stuff because I always have like from the Arnold all the way to the Olympia or something like that. I've had that for the last 2 years.
Yeah, but
So
you gotta remember too, Samson, because Paul he had the Arnold all the way to the Olympia was a break, right?
Mm.
yeah,
But he had like he traveled for us like 3 or 4 times, and then
uh,
he traveled for himself like 3 or 4 times. So he was
Yeah.
like there wasn't really a
uh,
break. Like he was
it
traveling
wasn't
like
really a break. It was
Yeah.
like
yeah.
just you
And
say you're not prepped.
that guys is the argument, and it fucks all those guys which say you need a proper off season. You need like at
Hmm.
least 1 year to improve. When you look
uh,
at Samson, he had like not even a real off season, and he
But
improved crazy. And that's
Hmm.
what every old school guy also is telling me. I was at the podcast with Dennis James and Milos and all those guys yesterday, and I talked to Marcus Rule, and he said like, "What the fuck? It was normal to do
to do,
competition
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
twice a
Yeah.
year." And
yeah.
now they say, I need my 3 years. Come on, you
But
just
guys,
3 years.
but I have a couple.
Uh,
Okay, I have a few questions about this. Some of them are going to be touchy, some of them are not. But I'm gonna say them anyway, just because we got to be honest on the show. Okay, first
yeah,
of all, I think, and I don't know for sure. This is more of a question than a statement, but I think contracts and prize money definitely, but contracts and prize money together are bigger than they used to be. So I think
yeah.
there's more pressure to perform and increase your stock. So if somebody thinks, okay, hey, if I sit out and I do the Olympia and I place, top six, it's better than if I do like 5 shows and place top 10 because if I'm in top six, that elevates my negotiating power. I get more prize money. So like, I think some guys are like, they're only competing a couple times because it's more advantageous to them career wise.
Yeah,
Strategic.
but I argument with that. Boy, is it really though?
I
me
don't know.
Because
too.
think about it
That's
more,
what I'm asking.
in terms of because right now it's not done of your show. I mean, as much as it's not all about your show placing.
Hmm.
Right.
It's
Right.
about being out there and being active a lot
True.
more.
That's
And
true.
there's nothing more being active than when you're actually competing a lot more. You might not be placing top five, top six in the Olympia or anything, but if every show you do, you get a lot more interest, a lot more views, a lot more people are paying attention to you, regardless of. So in terms of building up your platform, you're being
Right.
seen a lot more
Right.
than
So
taking
let
a
me
whole year off, be almost like forgotten. And like, oh yeah, well, yeah, when is he coming back? You know?
so let me ask you this, Samson. Do you think let's say a guy places like he does like 4 shows in the beginning of the year and
Yeah.
like kind of all through the summer and then does the Olympia. In those 4 shows, he takes like top three. Maybe doesn't win, but he's top three at all 4 shows.
Yeah.
And then at the Olympia, he's maybe somewhere between 6 and 10.
Yeah.
And let's say he's also sprinkled in like 2 or 3 guest posings. So all year long, you're kind of seeing him compete, you're seeing him guest pose. Do you
Yeah.
think that guy's stock ends up being higher than the guy who did 2 shows but placed in the top
Yeah.
six?
100%.
I think so,
100%.
eh? Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
not because this is what I'm saying. Think about it, your company. I mean, you think about your company.
Yeah.
The more the person is visible, the more he's out there, the more he's being seen and being spoken about from show to show to show.
Right.
It's a lot more valuable than him just coming out one show a year and then he does well in that one show and great. And then you're by 2 months later, you're almost not in a subject because you're in your break and they talk about other shows and other things now.
Right.
And then you have to go wait one whole 12 months before he's,
Right.
oh yeah, you're back again.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
so I think being active and even in terms of career wise, you're doing a lot more with your career, being more active than
Yeah.
saying, I'm only going to do this because I'm waiting for this big come out and be like, oh, I
Right,
blow
right,
everyone away and then everything's great. It
right,
doesn't
right,
work
right.
like that.
Let me
Yeah.
let me ask you this. Okay, so you convinced me on that one. You convinced me on the financial side of things. I think I can agree with you. Let's take this example though. What if you remove financial gain
Yeah.
and you're solely building on career and passion? So like
Yeah.
your ultimate goal is to win the Olympia. You don't give a
Yeah.
fuck about money, you don't give a fuck about fans. You're like, my ultimate goal is to win the Olympia. That's the whole purpose of my career.
Yeah.
What about that guy? Does it make more sense to sit
Well, the thing
down?
is, to a point, because the thing is, what I've noticed with, no offense, but with guys that they'll say, oh, I'm taking a year off.
Yeah.
I'm taking this one. I only want to focus on building whatever, improving whatever.
Yeah.
When you have the knowledge that you're having that much time off, you're more lazier.
Yeah.
You're not as focused. Let's be fair. We see that. You
I
guys
can
that are
see
having
that.
a long off
Yeah.
season, they'll be like, oh, well, I don't feel like training today. Oh, I'll go tomorrow instead. Or I don't feel, I'm tired of eating the same old food. I'll take some time off.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
when
yeah.
you know there's a target in every certain month,
Yeah.
you're a lot more focused. You're a lot more driven. Your physique becomes a lot more priority in terms of trying to get there.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I
why
can
I'm
see
feeling
that.
the whole idea of, I mean, no offense, but if you take it, the moral idea, many of them guys that take a year off,
Mm.
how improved do they always come back? Do
Yeah,
you ever
well,
look and go, wow, they've changed everything? Or do you look and go, I see a little bit of
it's a
improvement?
little bit better, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I was going to say one of the things that I don't think you did mention was I think one of the aspects of taking an entire year off that many people don't talk about is the pressure that comes with it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you tell everybody, you announce, hey, I'm taking a year and a half off or a year off, then everybody expects that wow moment when you showed
Yeah.
up. And
You
if
show back up. Yeah.
and if you get ready for a show and you're like, if you don't see the wow moment yourself, it's probably fucking with your head the whole time you're prepping because
The whole time, yeah. And
I'm gonna step out there and no one's gonna see anything different.
Yeah. And
And even in terms of like being on stage, because people underestimate the idea of what a year off does to you when you go out and go back on stage after that. You don't like when you're on stage more frequently, you become more comfortable, you become more
Right.
confident. You know yourself being on stage. You know how to hit poses, whole poses, do all that. When
Right.
you take a year off and you're about to go back on stage, believe me, the trauma and the anxiety that happens after because you've taken that much time off,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
it's insane.
Yeah.
You almost feel like a newbie walking out again, and it's almost that whole trauma. It really, it rocks a lot of guys after taking time off.
Okay, okay, I'll give you that aspect too. There's some pluses and
Need to
minuses.
stay in the routine. I mean, we all know when you have the tunnel of your prep, every workout is like 100%. Every meal is on point. Every posing session is there. Every cardio session you do, and we all know off season can get sloppy also at this level. And then they say like, yeah, okay, like Samson said, I'm not going to the gym today, maybe a little bit later, and then you skew around and time is flying. Time is flying. I mean, you have just a certain time window and then it's over.
I will say to you guys though, there are some exceptions to that rule. Like if you look at like Dorian Yates, if you look at honestly, I think Nick is in that category. If you look at if you look at Ian, there's some guys I can think of off the top of my head that are so structured that they can take like that whole year off and they're not wavering. Their workouts are still the same. Their eating is the same. They're just like robotic that way, right?
Yeah.
So, but those are the exceptions, not the rule.
Is the progress the same? That's my question I have.
Well, that's the other thing that has to be taken into account.
The mindset is different. Everybody has a different mindset on prep. It's
training harder.
Well, what about physiologically also? Because there is something to be said for dieting down and then the rebound.
Right.
Yeah.
So how much are you gaining? Are you gaining more if you diet and rebound versus if you just stay off season the whole time?
Yeah.
100%. I mean, the best period after your competitions, your insulin sensitivity is super high. You're super hungry. You get a good rebound in your training sessions. I mean, you go on TRG and you're still like progressing with strength, and it's crazy. So, we all expired it.
Or as you've never gone on TRT, you're like, you're maxed out all the time. No, I'm just joking.
Maxed out.
I'm just joking. Okay. What about okay, this is a touchy one. What about genetics?
Oh, that's huge.
Because Samson, I know I know you don't love this because I feel like you think it takes something away from you, but I know it doesn't. It's it's a compliment. So I would say, and Urs, you're the same. My I wonder, and this is more again a question, not a statement. If your genetics can allow for a missed meal here or there, or maybe traveling and your things aren't perfect, right? Can some guys get away with that and other guys can't, or is that an excuse?
I think it's not genetic. I think it's the mindset you have, and the guys which have a crazy anxiety. We all know a guy, they
true.
can't leave their home. They're like last call out at an amateur show, but they're like more professional than I am. I mean,
yeah.
I was at Samson's place, and he also, I was at William Bonek's place as well, and he was like an older competitor, and he was so relaxed and calm, and this comes with like your mindset over the years. And he said, like, we went to a restaurant, China buffet, and I took like rice and some grilled chicken and some vegetables. He was like taking the onion rings, the chicken. And I was like, is that all good with your diet and stuff? And he's like, right now, fuck the diet. It's time to calm down and relax. It's like gas and
you know what that reminded me of when I was what you know what that reminded me of when I was younger. I was getting ready for the Dallas Europa in like 2008. And I remember I was at the airport with Tony Freeman, and I don't remember if Dennis James was there, but I remember me and Tony were talking about his diet. And I don't even know how it came up, but we were talking about making omelets or something like that. And I was like, yeah, I make my omelet with like broccoli or whatever. And he's like, well, I chop up onions. And I'm like, you can't use onions. And he goes, why? I go, onions have sugar. And he goes, what the fuck is wrong with you? He goes, but you know what's funny? I never even considered that aspect of the travel, because like me and James have talked about this before, that like you're married to your kitchen, like you're stuck, like you have to be home, you have to be at your kitchen, you have to be at your gym, or else you have, like Paul knows, I get anxious every time I have to leave the fucking house.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it more than genetics. Maybe you're right.
But it's easier. I think it's easier now than ever, though, with meal prep companies all over the place.
Yeah.
You can travel and call ahead to a company to make sure that their meals. I know it's not the same. Like you still want to, prepare your own food.
I was going to say you're right. You're right. But I still took all my food, but it's still fuck with my head.
Yeah.
It just
I know, like the part that you say about genetics, like you saying genetics. I know that even with me, I know my genetics will allow me to have that bit of break.
Yeah.
Like when we travel,
right,
I'll be like, okay, I could push a few meals later. I could miss a meal. I could miss a training session. I know my genetics will compensate for that.
Right.
But even though I know that, I always know that when I'm on travel, I don't progress nowhere near as fast as when I'm at home.
Right. Of course.
So that's one of the reasons why we're like, okay, we'll say, okay, right. We know we put a certain amount of travel you can do and go, okay, right, you can get away with this for this period. But then the minute summer starts where, okay, it's time to lock in, I have to stay at home. Because even though I don't lose much in those travel, I don't gain anywhere as much as I do when I sit at home. Okay. So, and I know that the reason, because of genetics, I could get away with that traveling those parts, because I'm like, okay, in those stressful situations traveling, there's a bit of a more flexibility with me. But I know that for me to really progress, I have to be at home.
I get it.
The perfect solution. Just jump into classic physique, and then you don't need an off season anymore.
You have to cut off both of Samson's legs for him to do class.
Maybe an arm too.
And an arm as well.
Yeah. Hey, do you think when it comes to frequency of competing, you think some guys are able to pull it off better than others? Like getting down to low body fat, I think takes its toll on certain guys harder than others.
Yeah. That's
well, that was the other aspect I was going to ask you guys, is what about not just the looks, but what about health? Like, a lot of guys, and I don't think I don't want to say this is a lot of guys, but there are some guys out there that are like, I don't want to compete too often because, I need to give my body a rest.
But honestly, I need to tell the whole community here, my blood work was way better when I stayed with my weight in range, and didn't like go all in with the junk food and everything, and my
Yeah.
blood pressure blowed up, and then it's like a death circle you get into. And I mean, the healthiest thing is to like keep your weight in and don't get the swollen ankles and blow up with.
Well, because you and Samson are fat kids, just like I am. What was it like? It was like two off seasons ago, or I like I couldn't even recognize you. I'm like, who the fuck is
Really?
that guy?
I never seen Urs fat.
Oh yeah, watch,
Yeah.
watch. I'm gonna show you.
I gotta see this.
Bro, that's why I compete so much.
Urs,
myself, you know, to keep
Paul,
myself.
It blows out.
Paul, you and Urs are both cookie brothers. So you love cookies.
Oh yeah, Urs, we'll have to share a pack at the Arnold's.
Yeah, I need to bring some
after the show.
Okay, I'm just gonna preface this with his body's not fat, but his face looks totally different.
I'm the good old water buffalo.
Look at his face. That's not even Urs.
Oh wow, I didn't recognize you. Jeez.
I have a way better pick.
Look at who's this guy? Who's this guy?
Polish fat boy, I call him.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was so happy. I'm like, motherfucker's eating. He knows what he's doing.
You stay lean,
everybody needs to show his peak off-season face pics now.
Let me see. Oh my god!
After a huge Polish traditional dish I had in the evening, and next day I had a water buffalo balloon head. Just crazy.
So what are you? Okay. Before we leave the competing a lot thing, I want to ask one more question because I've asked Milos this, and I think it's hard to look back at your career and admit if you have any regrets, or maybe even be able to see that things could have been different. Because I've asked Milos about competing, because Milos competed so often, and I was like, "Hey, Milos, do you think maybe if you competed less, you would have been bigger? You know, put on more size. Maybe you would have done better, or whatever." And he says, "No, I take him at his word, right?" But the question is for you guys both. Let's say 10 years from now when you're done competing and you're looking back at your career. Let's knock on wood, God forbid, let's say you never win an Olympia. Is there anything, any moment in time where you look back and go, maybe if I didn't travel so much, I would have won an Olympia? Like, is that possibility ever enter your mind?
I don't think so.
So you're doing your career the way you want to. So you're like,
yeah. Because it's almost that thing where you feel like, you know what, regardless of, you know, whether you win one or not, when you want to look back, you want to start, okay, it will feel worse if I took a year off now, like all the time, and then I do Olympia and it's like, okay, second place, Olympia, top 5 to Olympia, and you keep taking a year off and give them that. I think I would hate my career if it was like based off that.
I see.
Than if I did loads of shows and go, okay, I look back and there's this variations of different shows I did.
Right. So it's not worth. So basically, what you're saying is, it's not worth the risk of not going, and then still not winning, like not competing and then still not winning. You're like, well, still not winning. I just wasted a year of my life.
Guys, I love bodybuilding. You know, all this aspects, all those people I'm getting. I mean, Paul, he's the cookie brother. So I mean, without competing, if I would compete once a year at the Olympia, and would get this experience, you know, sitting there and at IHOP in the middle of the night eating with some good. We all love the same passion. And that's, I mean, 10 years from now, I want to have like thousands of pictures in my head at the wall. And
I will say, you guys are 100% about that, right about that. When you look back, like Milos has so many throwback photos. He can post like he keeps posting throwbacks. I'm like, how many fucking? There's like a million shows, right?
Yeah, so you gotta enjoy the experience.
So I guess if you look at it that way, like,
and you know, as a fan too, you know, that's what fans want. They want to see the best guys out there competing. They don't want them to compete once or twice. It's a sport, you know.
So my only hesitation to any athlete that competes a lot is just health. It's just health. If you're ignoring blood work, if you're ignoring like bad health markers, then I think you've gone too far. But if all those things are in check,
also I want to say this, also the mind health. Be
Yeah.
Oh
also
yeah.
not
Yeah.
only blood work, and Samson and I talked a lot about it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not always
Yeah.
just blood and just what going on with your intestines and stuff. It's just your brain.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to say,
Yeah.
"Hey, I can't do this." Be a man. Also, a real man can say, "I can't do this, and it's too much right now." And then you always need to decide what's the best for yourself. And yeah, when you have
But
problems with your mindset and with your whole life beside bodybuilding, and you're like, "No, I need to do this and this," then you ruin all of that. So
what if, what if those two things conflict? Like, I'll give you an example. Like, what if when you're prepping, you're like, and I'm using myself as an example. What if when you're prepping, you're a fucking anxious mess and your mental health is not great because you're so anxious or hyper focused on the show that you're like, it's really like an anxiety ridden experience for you. You love it, but it's still anxiety ridden. What if that's the case, but you love competing? So what if your mental health is competing with your physical passion? Now what do you
I'm
do?
some kind of it's on every prep it's like this. It's always a roller coaster. We all experienced
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
because you bring your body fat down to like nothing,
Yeah.
and you that's the only sport where you're like be weaker and weaker and get more training output. So I
Yeah.
mean that's just crazy. So it's normal that it's a fight because when after every of those preps and fights, you like look back and say like, wow, another roller coaster, like with your whole family, with your girlfriend, with everything, with the training, with your own yourself and your mindset. So I think that's some kind of normal
Yeah.
in a crazy
Yeah.
Yeah.
way, but we all crazy when we're in the sport. And yeah, you just need to look, okay, it is good to a certain point, but maybe when you have someone close to you and he says or she says like, right now it's over the top, it's
Yeah.
too hard and it's you're destroying yourself, then you need to think twice about it. But this generation, especially of mine, they're just getting so much pussification of a generation, they say, and it's true, you know. And when there are guys telling me like in my age, a bit younger, oh, I'm at 10% body fat, but I'm starving, it's so hard
Yeah.
now and I need to go down and it's so hard, then it's like, yeah, it's normal. I mean, it's not easy to get in
It's
this
supposed to
kind
be,
of
it's supposed to be
Right.
hard.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
supposed
Yeah.
to
It's
hurt.
supposed to be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
story
Yeah.
is, but there is no magic pill, no magic formula. It's just suffering and hard work, and you need to love this work to like achieve this. And it's always in battle, and it's no easy way. So that's what I wanted to add to this whole topic because you can't say like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not. I woke up 3 times this night. It's too much for my brain. I can't handle this. I'm getting depressed. Chill, bro. Chill.
Not worth it.
Hey,
These words nowadays, words nowadays like anxiety, depression. I hear it everywhere, and everyone throws it around. If I would say it to my grandma, like I have a depression, she would say like, "What the fuck are you talking
yeah.
about?" She take her shoe and
Listen, so
shit
okay,
out of
wait.
me.
So listen, post show, speaking of mental health, we all know the ride. Like as you're prepping, you're focused, you're busy, you're like laser, like your mind is on the show. You get to the show as a climax, and then it's over.
Yeah.
Do you guys, because you compete more often, is that emotional roller coaster less for you
Yeah.
because you compete more often? Like, is
Go
there
back
a
down.
is there an emotional dump after the
Yeah.
show?
Always, always,
Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you always. I mean, my one
Don't
is,
tell
but
don't
then it's,
tell it don't tell it worse. He'll say you're fucking faking it.
You're saying you're
nah,
soft.
yeah. But the thing is, it's weird. It's because it could be weird, right? Because I always notice this thing after a big show and everything else. You almost have like a week after you're freaking awesome. You feel like great. You feel like the
Yeah.
best you've ever felt in your life.
Yeah.
And then like 2 weeks later, there's almost like this emotional crash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you just feel like you feel low for no reason whatsoever. You just feel like you're like, why the hell do I feel so shit for like what? Like
Yeah.
why do I feel like the climax has just come down now, and I'm like, oh, and it sucks. But then I find this thing where that's the week I always got to make sure I do something. I got to go where I got to make sure I'm doing something to keep me busy.
Can I ask you guys this? So tell me if this sounds accurate at all. You're laser focused on the show. You get to the show. There's the whole production of it, your posing routine, whatever. After the show, you've done well. You're getting pat on the back, or maybe you're not getting pat on the back, but there's still a lot of attention on you. And you're eating again. Maybe you're visiting friends you haven't seen in a while. And then the week after that, everybody's kind of moved on online. You visited all the friends you haven't seen, and now you're back to like normal life. You're like, oh, is that why? Is that why it's like a week or two later where you're like hit that dump?
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry for interrupting you, but I need to say this. I always thought like, yeah, that's now on hold, but just think about, hey, after this week, nobody wants something from me. The media slows down, everything slows down.
Yeah.
And enjoy it.
Yeah.
My mom, I never understood, like my mom always, when I came from partying and next morning, 7 o'clock, she was sitting outside. I'm from a small village in Germany where a big like landscape and stuff. And she's sitting there with like her, what is it called? Like
robe, a robe.
Yeah. And with her coffee in her hand, she was just looking outside and looking into the nature. And I was like, Mom, what are you doing there? Never understood it until I had so much attention going on with the media and social media and all this stuff. And right now, I just take a walk with my girlfriend and I'm like, yeah, I can look at my phone, not hundreds of mails, just 20. I can call my dad and my mom. It's just easy. Nobody wants something. So look at this like it's something life gives you to like slow down, rethink about yourself, rethink about what you accomplished. Because it was my third Olympia, and for me it was like yesterday qualifying for it, or qualifying for the pro card, and so you need this time to reflect for yourself.
I think that's hard for some people. Sorry, yours. I think that's hard for some people though, because a lot of people finish a show and they may take a couple days, but then they're immediately like, what's next?
On to the next, yeah.
And their brain is already like turning like, what do I have? So they're not able. I think what you're saying is right, or is like it's probably a good idea to like be able to decompress and like enjoy life. But I just think most of us are wired in such a way that it's like, okay.
Yeah, but that's also, I mean, that's the best thing. But we talked about this athletes going into a hole.
Yeah.
So if you're like, wow, what's next? I'm motivated. I want to progress. Then you're not in a hole, in my understanding. Then you don't have this kind of stuff. But when it's affecting you, that it's not so much trouble around you anymore, and that's the problem. That's a different thing. I think every one of us is like, okay, what's next? But
Go ahead, Samson.
No, well, I always have to have a plan post show. I think that's one thing where you're so focused on the show, you don't actually plan anything afterwards.
Yeah,
you almost just you're so laser focused. Nothing after the show exists.
Right.
And I think this is what sort of gets people in that sort of state where the show finishes.
Yeah,
and you get the hype after, and then that dies, and you're just kind of like, okay, what do I do now?
What now?
Yeah, and then that's where it sort of hits in. So I know for a fact that I always say, okay, right after the show, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I always plan things to do literally the weeks after. So you almost like as soon as the show is done and you kind of calm down, you look forward to that calm down period because like, okay, now that everything calmed down, my next plan is to go here, go have some fun, go away, go out with your family, go do some things, and because you know that's coming. That whole what next part of it is already answered. You're like, okay, I know what's next now.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It happens in everyday life. It happens in everyday life too. Like now, like I haven't competed in a lot of years, but I'll get excited about a big show we're promoting Fouad or a big show I'm judging or something like that. And afterwards, I do get a little bit of a emotional dump afterwards, but it's okay. I think it's okay to feel that.
When we do the Detroit Pro, I mean, Jay and Ronnie are coming back.
Right.
Chris Bumstead's going to be doing the Open.
It's the ultimate
mega. It's a mega show. It's a mega show for everybody. Like I think Lee Haney's doing commentary.
Right. And then Arnold might make an appearance.
And then the day after, all of the superstars are going to be gone, and then we're not going to have.
I'm going to be depressed for a day or two. But I think
Paul's calling me crying.
I
I don't know what I have to do.
yeah, I'll bury myself in cookies.
Um,
But I think successful people, they always got like it's always on to the next, you know, like
yes,
there's always something next.
but you
Yeah.
can still, but Urs, don't call me a bitch because
Call them bitchers.
you can still you could still have a plan. Like, listen, after I did a show, I would usually have like one day off, and then I'd be like, let's go to the gym. Even if my coach sometimes would be like, look, you need 4 or 5 days off. I'd be like, I want to go to the gym. But even if you have the next plan for the next show and you're going to the gym, you could still feel emotionally low while you're training. It doesn't mean that just because you've gone to the gym that everything's fucking euphoric.
Right.
You can still have an emotional dump. If
Pussy.
fuck you, Urs. I feel so bad for your girlfriend. You're probably like, she's like, Urs, I feel sad. Hold me. You're like, fuck you. Go fucking get over
it up.
No, the funny emoji. There was a little bear, and that was like an ice cube around him, and then like princess, like at the ice cube watching at the bear, and she always sends me it because I'm like so cold hearted. She said like,
okay, but I guess just to finish this up, me and Samson were driving to a photo shoot the day after the Olympia. And I think this is kind of what Samson, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is kind of what you mean when you say you have to plan things like going on vacation with your wife or like just going to wherever you decide. Like the day after the Olympia, Samson was feeling kind of, not happy as hell about his placing. He wanted to do better, obviously. So anyway, we got out of the bubble. Like one of the ways we described it was that like when you're a bodybuilder, you're in a bubble and all that matters is bodybuilding. But the day after the Olympia, we got in a fucking car. We went for a rip in this like beautiful fucking supercar, and we were both laughing like little kids.
Yeah,
and it takes you out of that bubble. You're like, oh wait, there's real life here. You remember like
a reality check.
It's not that bad, Yeah, and I think this is what it is like because you're so laser focused for something and everything else, and you just once it's done, even if you get a result, you don't get a result, you won't. You almost you forget that you're still in that bubble, and you almost have to kind of step out of it and then look back and go, oh, actually, there is life outside. Yeah, because when you're prepping, you're that close to a big show, you're literally closed off to the world.
Well, you think
that, guys, is a big fact why I love my girlfriend so much, because she's not in this bubble and she understands what I'm doing, I can't go with another athlete.
You need to be able to step out of it. Yeah.
Imagine you finish prep and she's gonna kick off her prep and it's going back and forth. I never could do it. So I'm so thankful about she always pulls me out this bubble and says like, yeah, we go on a fucking rave or something. And I'm like, huh? And then I'm staying there, okay. I need to dance. Okay, that's how life is working. Okay. And then the first 10 minutes, I'm like shocked. Okay, what's going on? And then I'm okay.
But I think but like Paul said, it's kind of like this in every industry. If you really care about something, right? Like I could have a horrible day at work with Hostile and feel like fuck, life is over. And then me and Paul will hit the gym, we'll have a few laughs or we go wherever, and then like you're like, oh, you know what? Life's not that bad. And it's it's the same thing I said to Samson. I'm like, I think we were driving, Samson. I said to you, I think I said something like 4 years ago you were doing construction.
Yeah.
It's like, and it kind of
it was like reality dump,
but in perspective.
Yeah, it kind of wakes you. It kind of wakes you up. You're like, oh yeah. But Urs, what do you were third at this year's Olympia, right?
Yeah.
What did you feel? I didn't get to talk to you after Olympia. What did you feel after the show? Were you excited to be, because you were, is third the same place you placed last year? Like the year before?
Yeah.
So you're third again. Was that a disappointment for you? Or are you like,
I was happy with the progress I did for my physique and myself, but I was like, I would love to have this comparison together with Ramon and Chris, because I thought like, okay, I just want to see myself next to him.
Yeah.
And then they just did the double one. That was the only thing I was like, but from this I learned like, I said to myself like, okay, wait for the Arnolds. Then I'm gonna definitely gonna get my like pose down.
Right.
And yeah, that made me more excited of this upcoming Arnolds. And then yeah, I want to battle it.
I don't want to keep you guys too long because I told you both that you're, obviously you're a week out or whatever. So I just want to ask you a few questions about the Arnold before we move on. So Urs, you're obviously get a second chance against Ramon, but you also have almost, I don't want to say a new Wesley Vissers, but he seems to like have really figured out his body. Like he comes in, his conditioning's crazy. So he seems awesome. And then you have Michael DeBoule who's there as well. And then the most recent pictures of Breon actually look really good as well. So how do you feel about like, can you overtake Ramon? Are the other guys a challenge for you? Like, what is your mindset going in?
My mindset is pretty easy.
Listen to me. Don't say I love everybody and
no, I don't.
Give me the
It's definitely what I wanted to say, but I said like I shut the phone off because I can post like a video looking super fucking crazy and people don't even know what's my weight and blah blah blah. And I just want to go there and show everybody what I'm capable of. And on that day, on that special time at 12:30, prejudging on that stage, that's where we need to shine. And I think everybody is beatable, like on a certain day. We saw it oftentimes in bodybuilding, and I think everything is possible. So I'm super excited, and I just can say I did my homework. I never suffered so hard. That's why I'm a bit like aggressive in my tone and not.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, because
all people pussies and everything.
This time is more in it. It was the fucking hardest prep, but yeah, I made every day count, and with this like kick and boost of my what is it fucking called? I need some carbs.
You're what?
Come on, say it.
I don't know what you're trying to say. It doesn't matter. Move on.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Your prep your prep has gone well anyway. You've nailed everything all the way through.
Not all the way. That's the point. My prep was different this time. It was hard. I had like many ups and downs, but what I learned from it is just a win by its own, and I definitely I'm so fucking so happy about it that it's going down next week.
What's the first thing you eat after the show?
Confidence was the word I was looking for.
Your confidence is
up. My confidence is crazy. I mean, not like in a bad way. It's just like I love the sport more than ever before. I got like the fire 100%, 110% back again, like Rocky did, you know. I know, okay, no distractions anymore. I'm a professional athlete, and that's why I'm there where I am, and not all this other bullshit what comes into like your way when you're going through the top. So yeah, now I'm definitely locked in, and I'm fucking ready to do bodybuilding.
Are you doing UK tours?
Yep.
Okay. What's since you're a food guy, what's the first thing you think about eating after? Is there anything on your mind?
Ranch? Bro, when I go on Instagram,
drink.
When I go on this loop thing on Instagram, where you can search all the stuff, see how this looks. I need to show it everywhere. When you click on it, it's like,
okay. He got pies.
Pies, cinnamon rolls, like
Pastries.
pancakes. That's
Oh, yeah.
thing.
Why do you torture yourself with that shit? Your old prep?
Oh, I love it. I look at it all the time.
Oh,
Dude,
God.
I did that to myself.
Uh,
I did that to myself one year. It was my worst prep of my life.
Used to
I
watch cooking
love it.
shows.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't know
oh,
why. The people can comment down below which kind of guy they are. There is this guy, Eric the Electric. He
Yeah,
eats
I know
like
that guy.
200,000 calories in
I don't
6
know how
days
he
or
I don't know
something.
how he does it. Yeah.
Oh, you showed me that guy.
Yeah.
And
oh.
I watch him all the time, and I watched all this. I'm like, it's crazy. But then once prep is over, I'm done with it. And then my algorithm changes slowly but surely again. Right now, right now, guys, I'm totally into those buffet videos
Buffet?
because I know I'm going for vacation with my girlfriend, and then I look at some hotel buffets, and they're like, "Oh, we have the Asian section. There is a spiral buffet. It's called in Manila,
Yeah.
in the Philippines."
Yeah.
And they have like a own like cheese room, and they have like 13 or 21 different countries and style of eating. And I
Where
already booked flights.
you're going to
It's like
Manila? Is that where
they
you're
got
going?
that.
I'm there. I'm going to
We
the
got that in
film.
the U.S. too. It's called the Sizzlers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Remember the Sizzlers? They'd have
Yeah.
like a section
Yeah.
for Mexican, Italian,
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh yeah.
Hey, what fuck, what was I gonna say?
What
Now you
kind of
got
food I will eat?
no, that wasn't what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something actually important. Anyway, we'll go back to it.
What's
Samson.
more important than food?
Yeah. Samson, you got the challenge of a lifetime, but also the opportunity of a lifetime.
Yep,
Is
of course.
the now I just want to show somebody, I just want to show people this because I gotta tell you, one of the things that's a common theory amongst bodybuilders is that the more often you compete, the more you can learn your conditioning and your conditioning becomes better and better and better. And I got to tell you, in Samson's case, it seems to be from this update very true.
Mhm.
I've never
Yeah.
seen your skin look this thin, Samson.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons we said like we wanted to do them post-Olympia shows. It wasn't just for one thing because we knew that it gives us more opportunity to not only compete, but to learn how to sort of peak my body for it.
Yeah.
And some nutrition for it. So yeah, man, it definitely helped out a lot this prep, being able to do those 2 shows and everything else. And you do start to see your body change because of it. Because you just stay a longer time in condition, so you'll change from it.
There's a couple main differences I've seen in your physique, Samson. You could tell me if you agree or disagree, or if you see something else.
Yeah.
Your shoulders are far more round. Your
arms are bigger.
Your arms look a little bigger, and then in this, like I said, in this most recent one, your skin looks thinner.
Yeah.
So
through the chest and that particularly, what I can see.
Just everywhere though, like the skin texture, the skin texture looks different.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you, do you have that same skin texture from the back?
Yeah.
Okay. This is going to be because this is like to me is the final piece of the puzzle. Like this is crazy.
Because this is one thing. Like I mean, you saw I posted a standing back shot at one point a few weeks ago. But basically, when we get our condition, I don't even bother looking at my front because I know that most of the time my front is going to get in condition way before my back does.
This is
so when we go through two of it, we always look to the back first. It's like, okay, most of the time we're judging my condition. It's okay, how do your back look? How does that? That is where your main judging point is. Like I said, you're only as good as your weakest part.
Yeah.
So we focus all our attention in that part in there. We know as long as you can get that in, everything else goes with it. So you just focus on that.
And that's where everyone's attention going to be on you. That's what people will be looking for, to see how your back is, how hard your back is.
When I saw this photo, I was fucking blown away. But
jeez, those triceps.
Samson, I got to tell you something though, and this is
a
little bit of retired man advice.
Yeah.
These fucking photos that you post are incredible, right?
Yeah.
Like this is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I have photos like this. I don't look this good, but I mean, I have photos posing.
Yeah.
I hate that I left my shorts on because I can't.
You know what? Right, this is the thing because I get a lot of people say, "Oh,
tearaways."
You have no idea because remember, I'm not in a posing room. I'm in the middle of the gym.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
And this is so people forget this. I'm in the middle of the gym and I'm like, okay, go stand over there and just pose real quick.
Yeah.
This is my gym system. And because you're in the middle of the gym, you get a lot of attention when you're doing this.
Well,
especially when you're this big.
Especially you.
For me to stay there and take my trainers off, take my shorts off, take my clothes off. By the time I'm done all that, believe me, the gym, everybody's over there looking at you like, what's going on? It's like, look, it's more like you stand there and be like, okay, look, hurry up. I ain't got time for this. Come on, man. Especially when you're prepping, you're so exhausted and tired. I'm like, I ain't got time to start taking my shoes off my. I'm like, man, just stand there, pull it down. Here we go. We see what matters, and I can go home.
Samson, I get it. I did the exact same shit. I probably have 500 photos of myself with my pants around my ankles. The problem is now I want to repost them, and I'm like, fuck, I got my pants around my fucking ankles again. It looks so stupid. So it's like, I'm just saying, one day you're gonna look back and have
one day I probably would
1,000 photos. Yeah,
photos of like your pants always down here. I'm like, yeah, well. Okay, call it that would do.
You just get some tearaways like basketball players use.
Yeah,
you know, they're ripping right off.
Be a thing in the future because remember Dorian Yates with his socks on.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh yeah.
And I visit my first coach, a real old school coach. He said like, put the socks off. It's only allowed for Dorian Yates to pose with socks.
That's awesome. I love it.
I didn't even know who Dorian Yates was back in the.
You're not Dorian. Take your socks off.
And imagine in 10 years, there's people gonna say, put your short off. It's only Samson Dauda who can pose like with.
That's right. Who do you think you are, Samson? Take your pants.
Yeah.
Well, Samson, you know what? I start
to pose naked now.
Put a sock over it.
I gotta tell you, Samson, we are obviously, you know, we've been friends for a while. You've been with Hostile for almost 4 years now, and Paul's gotten to know you, and we're all like good. You and Urs are good friends. We are fucking excited. Like I'm totally.
Yes.
I know people are like, oh, don't be so biased. I don't give a shit. Samson's my friend. I want him to win. And I'm not just saying that because you're my friend. Like some of these updated pictures look fucking phenomenal. I'm excited to see you stand next to a hottie again. And I think honestly, and Paul, maybe you can answer this too. I think standing next to hottie without Derek there may also look different.
Absolutely. We talked about it before. I think like sometimes lineups can kind of determine trends for a show. You know, and I think you're completely different physiques. And I think, you know, some of those pictures, Samson, like some of the most impressive front shots I've ever seen on a person, you know, then the back shots, I can't wait to see on stage.
I bet exciting. Everyone, Samson, so
it's exciting.
Well, look, I don't want to keep you guys because honestly, like it's been an hour, and I appreciate you guys staying on for as long as you did. I'm gonna let you guys go do your thing, Samson and Urs. Hopefully, I'll see you guys both backstage probably next week.
Yeah, good luck, you guys.
I'm excited. Hey, Paul, don't forget my cookies. Okay?
Oh, Urs, I'm going to hold you to it, my friend. Don't you worry. Matt, the question is, are they going to be special cookies or just regular cookies? That's one thing we got to discuss at the show.
All right, guys. Listen, Urs, is there anybody you want to thank? You want to thank your sponsor or anything, or are you good or what?
I just want to thank the whole bodybuilding community, which gonna come over to the Arnold's, Ohio and UK and support.
Are you at a booth or no?
I'm I don't know it exactly. Maybe we have like my sponsor ESN.
Sponsor. Are you at a booth with them or no?
I think they're gonna have a booth, so I don't want to say it 100% because I don't know it yet. Didn't got a plan, but I'm definitely gonna be at the pro meeting or pro like what does it call the Arnold's at the
meet and greet. The meet and
Thursday night.
Yeah, the meet and greet. Yeah.
Hopefully some guys coming over to meet and greet, and we have some talk, shake some hands, do some photos.
We have a Hostile booth. I don't know how much Samson's going to be there. It's going to totally depend on your prep. But maybe I'm
there to be there on Friday.
Really?
So Friday afternoon I'll be there. So guys,
all right, but listen, that's all tentative. If Samson's need to focus, let's say Sunday for an hour at least. But anyways, listen, you guys have safe flights.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for coming on.
Looking forward to seeing you guys.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Paul, you sticking around with me?
Yeah.
It's meatballs and hummus time.
we haven't done that in a while. We had an official jingle too, didn't we?
Did we have a jingle?
Yeah. I think your little tune that you just it
was kind of like the one I just sang. That was the intro.
Yeah. We just need some background music for it.
Okay. I'm sure Brandon will come up with something. Those two are fucking awesome. I got to tell you.
You know what I admire? Like I remember back when I competed. Maybe I was a pussy, like Ur says. But
Yeah.
if I was a week before a show, I literally would do nothing other than train and my cardio and my posing. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to see anybody. I would just go on lockdown. Like for those guys that still do podcasts and be in good moods is admirable.
Honestly, that's part of what I love about those guys, because I was the same way you were, man. I was like, I'm dieting. When I look back at it, I'm like, maybe you're a little over dramatic because I was like, I'm dieting. Nobody talked to me. I'm tired. I'm this, I'm that. And it wasn't until I met John, I think, when John was like, hey, it's just another day. You're just eating less food.
Yeah,
And I
but
was like, oh,
how
yeah.
I don't know if you felt the same way, but what I would feel like when my body fat got really low and my calories got really low, I just didn't have the energy to do anything. So anything, like be it a conversation with somebody or,
Yeah.
doing something physical, just felt like such a chore to me that I didn't want to do it. So I'd be, moody about it.
I got to tell you, though, I wonder sometimes how much of it has to do with drugs, because I don't know. I don't know what their stacks are. Like, I don't talk to Samson about that stuff. I don't know what he's taking. I don't know what Urs is taking. But I know for myself back in the day, my coaches used to have me on a lot of AIs or anti-estrogens, whatever you want
Yeah,
to call
me
them.
too. Yeah.
And I noticed that guys now don't take that kind of like that amount of AIs, or most guys don't anyway.
Even on a prep, they don't?
I've seen some prep protocols, in the last few years, and it's become an old school way of doing things.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. There's still some coaches that do it, but I think more coaches than not are more hesitant to eliminate estrogen altogether, because it'll flatten you out. It kind of makes your training harder. Like I see the reasoning in it.
And health
But
wise, isn't it could be
I think health wise it's worse to cut out
right?
all your estrogen, right?
Because you're lowering your
But
cholesterol too much, right?
but I think I don't know. I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to
Okay.
pretend I know. But I know lowering estrogen too far has something to do with your HDL cholesterol, and it
Which
being,
is your good.
yeah, which is, well, good.
Yeah.
But yes, but more importantly, we used to do it because it used to dry the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
Like I would get dry as fuck. So when I took a diuretic, if I took a diuretic, I basically wouldn't have to take very much because I was already dry as fuck.
Right. Yep.
But taking that many AIs for 4 to 6 weeks led to exactly what you're talking about.
Exhaustion.
I would be, no, not just exhaustion, but isolation.
Oh, yeah, the
I'd
moodiness and
be
stuff.
I'd be like in the same room as my wife, and I'd be like, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
She'd be sitting right there, and I'd be like, please, I don't want to talk. I don't want to. My phone would ring. I wouldn't answer it.
Hmm.
Like,
It's
I
interesting, eh? I wonder if you're onto something there.
I think I am. I don't think honestly, I don't think I'm far off at all, because I know, like, for example, like if you take letrozole is one of the hardest anti-estrogens you can take.
Like most suppressing, you mean?
I guess most suppressing would be the right terminology. I don't know, but it like if you ask me or ask Ian or ask anybody that's used it, it's devastating to your fucking energy levels. You're
Really?
like, dude, I remember I like took it for like 2 shows or something like that. I remember, and I've told the story on the podcast before, but I remember sitting there having to piss, and I'm like, I'd have to like convince myself to get up and go to the washroom. That's how tired I was. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit here until I have to piss my pants, and then I'm gonna get up.
Right.
Because it's like I just couldn't. I'm just so fucking lazy. Like sap, it sapped your energy completely out of your body.
And back in those days too, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember like, it's quite a few years ago now, but even in the off season we would run AIs, the milder
Yeah,
doses, of course.
yeah.
But it was just a way of thinking back then. But
Mm,
like even I had an appointment today with my doctor, and
yeah,
he was going over my blood work, and he was talking about like my ratios are in a good range, and he's
right,
hasn't seen any changes in those ratios, and he
right,
got talking a bit about estrogen and
right.
how he thinks people who lower it too far, these will some heart
Yeah.
issues.
I don't like to delve too far into it because I'm not like
Yeah.
a guru of any sort. But I've talked to Ben about it at length and Ben's very knowledgeable about the situation, and he's like, look, you're still going to grow if you cut out your estrogen, but you're not at the same rate, and not, your progress is not going to be as great. Your training's not going to be as great.
Yeah.
Your moods are going to be fucking horrible, which all of those things I've experienced. So,
Yeah. Is Novadex a safer route for guys nowadays because it just blocks the site, not the doesn't suppress it?
like I said, I don't want to give any.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not a guru, so I don't like to go down that road, because
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm not well versed enough in pharmacology to be like, yeah, you should take this instead of that. I know I know I hear of a lot more guys taking Aromasin now than Arimidex,
Okay.
but that's the extent of my. I'm not going to get into it because
Okay.
I don't like to preach that shit. But anyway, yeah. But those two guys, I wonder sometimes. Also, I wonder if it's just perspective. Like Urs, like when you listen to Urs talk and Samson, their perspective on bodybuilding is almost refreshing in that they have pressure on themselves to do well, but they almost seem like they want to enjoy it more than
Yeah.
just win, more than win.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they want to win, but not at the cost of their enjoyment
Right.
of the sport.
That's refreshing to see.
I'm like, I wonder if that's a perspective thing. Like they just, that's how they see it all. So it's easy for them to travel and it's easy for them to do things because they're really experiencing what they're doing
Right.
instead of just worrying about winning.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And and Urs is only like what, 26, 27?
I think he's late 20s. I don't know exactly how old.
And Samson's more mid-30s. So yeah, the guys
Yeah.
two different ages, but still same
Yeah.
kind of mindset or approach to the sport.
Well, I don't know about Urs because I don't remember exactly what he told me, but I don't remember exactly what he did before bodybuilding. Um, but I know Samson was a laborer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this motherfucker's doing construction. So I understand his perspective because he
Yeah.
came from like a hard labor job and now he gets to bodybuild for a living.
Right.
So I think I understand his perspective on why he wants to enjoy it so much because he came from an actual job that was difficult,
Right.
right?
You appreciate it more.
Yeah, so I feel like when Samson talks about bodybuilding, he talks about it in a way of almost like it's an opportunity for a good life instead of like, and that's how he looks at the whole thing.
Like he's grateful to have this life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Which is
yeah.
nice to see.
So it's cool, but yeah, I'm
That's
excited,
why.
man. It's gonna be a big show. Hey, do you want to make? I know we're gonna do a podcast tomorrow with the guys, but I wanted to ask you while they're gone. Let me bring this up real quick. One sec. I wanted to ask you while they're gone if you want to make any changes to this thing.
Yeah. Let me take a look.
Where are you here? Paul Lauzon.
Right there. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Right there.
Samson, Hadi, James, Marcelo, Rafael, De La Rosa, Justin, Shaban, Akeem, Antoine. You're gonna lose for sure.
Antoine's been looking
You
impressive
have
in his
Antoine
updates.
last? There's no way.
I know Antoine's been looking really impressive.
Where do I have him? I have him in eighth. I gotta move him up. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, I'm gonna move Antoine up a little bit. I'm gonna move Antoine into um I want to flop Justin and Shaban, or do I?
Too late. I did it now. That's it.
Okay, for now. Well, we get another opportunity tomorrow night, right? If I
Yeah. Yeah.
and flop Akeem and Antoine.
Really?
Yeah, and I might even make one more move or two more.
Okay.
Hmm. Are you
You're
doing
gonna
anything with yours?
you're gonna lose for sure. I'm not telling you yet. I'm gonna wait for you to finish.
Okay. Um, move Antoine in front of Justin.
I hope Justin sees this. He's gonna be mad at you. Okay. Is that it?
For now.
Okay. What does Ian have? Hadi Samson. That's gonna be wrong.
Why are you looking what Ian's got?
I just want to see what he's got.
Right, because he's been the most successful out of us so far, so you want to follow his lead?
He has not.
I think so. Last year,
That's
I think he had the best year out of us.
that's not true.
No?
No,
Have we ever gone to the actual stats on that?
I'll tell you why he was more successful. It's not
Why?
not the amount of wins because I think I had three last year and I think he had three. But his Olympia win
He killed it.
it was demolishing. Like he was
Yeah.
one fucking placing off of like everybody. So
Yeah.
that was pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah.
No,
Is that why you're looking at his?
no, I just want to see what he's doing.
Oh, just
I'm
curious.
mine's totally different. He's got Antoine last, Akeem. I got Akeem in sixth.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Samson, Hadi, James. I'm gonna move Marcelo into third.
Really? Ahead of James, eh?
I'm gonna move Rafa to
You're
fourth.
dropping James that far?
I'm gonna move James, Keem, Antoine, De La Rosa, Shaban, Justin.
Have you been seeing some pictures that I haven't seen?
No, no, no. I just better at this than you are.
You don't have any insider pictures you've been getting sent from anybody? Because I
You're
haven't
so,
seen pictures of a lot of these guys.
you're so worried. Let's see, where are you here? Let's see what you got.
Top
Okay.
right.
You're here and I'm here. I should move mine over to where you are.
Yeah, the head-to-head competition.
Seth has got Hadi, Samson, James, Marcelo, Rafa, Shaban, Antoine, Justin, Akeem, De La Rosa. I don't see De La Rosa in last. Otherwise, those aren't bad picks.
Has
Uh,
has Raphael put up anything at all recent?
I think so.
Has he? I haven't seen anything.
We'll look at it tomorrow. What's
Oh,
Jay got?
okay.
Jay's got Hadi, Samson, James, Rafael, Marcelo, Justin, Shaban, De La Rosa, Akeem. See, I think Justin was doing well until he got down, or Jay was doing well until he got down here. I don't think De La Rosa, Akeem, and Antoine are going to be the bottom three.
It's so hard to pick a bottom three out of this lineup.
No,
Like
no. I think, listen, Akeem has a fuck ton of muscle. You have him in last. There's no way.
I've only seen.
I think even if Akeem is not in shape, he still has too much muscle to be last.
Yeah, you could be right. Akeem, it's because when's the last time he competed? Was it
Tampa, I think.
Tampa like 2 years ago?
I think. Don't quote me on that, but or maybe was it the Olympia? No, it might
Did
have
he
been
do the
it
Olympia?
might have been the Olympia that year because he qualified, like he won
Because
Tampa.
he beat Kamal in Tampa, right?
Yeah, he beat Kamal in Tampa. So I think he did the Olympia, but I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, because I just he's just competed so infrequently lately that his physique just isn't fresh in my head, and
Yeah,
I
but
don't see
he's
very many updates of him.
still a fucking freak, dude.
He is a freak, I know. That's why he's a really
Like
tough guy to place.
this is the last update he posted.
The one with the side chest, but he's got like bands, he's got like tape on him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
but
it's hard to really see.
yeah, if he's any harder than this, I don't see him anywhere. I don't see him near in last. There's no way.
Mhm.
This is
His
just
legs look hard there.
he's just way too fucking big, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah, he's a really tough one to place for me.
I don't know. I don't know. And then you got Justin, and Justin's like doesn't look amazing, but he always like pulls it together the last fucking week. So I'm like, I don't know where to put him either. So yeah, it's not easy, but anyway.
Yeah, Justin's got one of those physiques that can change quickly
Yeah.
for the better or worse.
Yeah. All right, what are we doing? What are we training today?
Shoulders today, aren't we? Did you do back yesterday?
I did back yesterday by myself
Okay.
because you
So,
skipped the gym.
I trained by myself.
I
Um,
told everybody online you skipped the gym.
I'd never skip the gym. Why would you spread rumors like that?
I just thought why would you spread rumors?
Hey, you know what I did today?
Uh
I had an NAD shot.
oh, that's antioxidant type thing, right?
It's also because it's a source of it's a source of ATP, I believe, or it converts to ATP.
Does that mean you're gonna have
Um,
does that mean you're gonna have explosive power at the gym?
I got super energy today. I do. Might start doing it weekly.
You're so it's so placebo. You're like, I'm gonna kill it.
Yeah, I thought it was placebo too, but I actually felt different as I was leaving the doctor's office.
Did you? No, I think there is like, I think people are talking about. So, when injected into your body, the infusion saturates your brain cells with NAD and other nutrients to help brain function normally. Patients who take NAD IV therapy for cognitive health report improved focus, enhanced memory, and overall improved mood.
I've
So
been so on it today.
you're gonna be you're gonna be mentally focused. So what?
I've been like sharp like this today, Fouad. But also physically, I'm bursting with energy.
Bursting with energy.
I am.
NAD shots, NAD IV therapy, due to its energy boosting capabilities, NAD infusion therapy has been used by athletes to enhance performance in training and competitions. It helps in muscle recovery and builds muscle health. NAD also enhances vessel performance and improves their supply to muscles during activity.
You should do it too with me.
I'm doing growth hormone. I don't need that shit.
I'm doing growth hormone too.
Okay. You're like, I'm stacking NAD with growth hormone. No, I'm just
Optimum performance.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing any. I haven't done any fucking growth hormone in a while. I keep forgetting. I fucking hate doing shots.
Yeah,
Anyways, I mean, I think that's good if you're fucking natural, but you're taking like 500 milligrams of test a week. It's not
but
like,
are you talking about the NAD?
yeah, I'm like, okay, if you're doing it for like, I thought it had antioxidant properties. Am I wrong about that?
No, I think you're right. Yeah, I think it helps with autophagy too, or Autophagy.
Autophagy.
Yeah. The proper pronunciation.
The proper pronunciation is autophagy. NAD IV therapy can add NAD plus to help activate antioxidant and provide natural anti-inflammation effects. It also increases serotonin levels, which can act as a mood stabilizer to help with mental conditions like anxiety and depression, which URS doesn't believe in.
Yeah. You're just a pussy.
Well, listen, I will say this. I will agree with URS that it's way overused. I don't think anxiety and depression are fake,
Right.
but I think they're used as a crutch a lot of times when they don't need to be.
Well, I think medically now, like pain is, it's almost like you don't have to deal with pain. We got something for that. So it's kind of encouraged to you, like it's kind of encouraged to just take something instead of going through stuff.
It's funny, societally, you are almost encouraged to be fucked up.
Yeah. Well, when I
Like
tore
it's
my
not.
pec,
Go
sorry to
ahead.
cut you off.
No, go ahead.
And then this is no knock on my doctor. I think she's a great doctor. But when I went to go see my family doctors, I need a referral for an MRI when I tore my pec there back in September with you.
Mm.
I first thing she asked me was, "Do you need anything for your pain?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, it doesn't hurt. I just need a script to go get an MRI." And then that's all I really asked her for.
Yeah.
But I think and it's not her fault. I think it's just the medical community just encourages that now. Like the first thing to ask is there pain? Okay, let's deal with that first, and then deal with whatever your problem is.
Yeah, but I think that's something different. Like I agree with you, but that's different kind of what I'm talking about. That I think is just a symptom of big pharma having an influence on
Okay,
doctors, pushing medication.
right.
I'm talking more about just as a society, we are more like, well, you must have depression. Tell me what's the matter, right? Whereas it's kind of like Urs was saying, like back in the day, if you told somebody you had depression, they'd be like, "Get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah,
Go back to work."
yeah.
So it's like I don't think either thing is right though, just for the record. Like I don't think ignoring somebody that has depression and telling them to
Yeah,
fuck off is right.
yeah.
But I also don't think like babying every single person that like has any kind of affliction and diagnosing it as like the end of the world is also a fucking problem. So it's like
Right.
there's got to be a middle ground somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. I love Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yeah.
Remember what his joke about depression? He's like when I was a kid, he's like, if I would have told my dad I was depressed, he'd have been like, I've been depressed for 30 years. He's like, I got a job. He's like, shut up.
Yeah, our dad's generation is it's a different fucking breed of human, man.
Yeah, but they were like
Okay.
post World War II kids, So like they actually went through like actual fucking hard times, I think, so they're hardened.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a big part of it. I think the easier life gets, the fucking softer
Yeah.
everybody gets.
Yeah,
Which
what's
is
good times create soft people or
yeah, I know the saying. I
yeah.
don't want to.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I love my
I know you love your Joe Rogan. Who doesn't love Joe Rogan? I fucking
Ah.
This is like the whole reason I started this thing. But I've just heard the quote recited so many times by so many people. I'm like, okay, we all love Joe Rogan. I get it.
Yeah.
Anyways, so what are you training today? Shoulders?
Yeah. What time is it now?
4:30.
So what time is good for you? 5:36?
Well, I'm probably not going to eat again before we go, so I can probably be ready for 5:30.
Okay, I'm ready 5:30.
Okay, I'll pick you up
Okay.
at 5:30.
Okay.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Okay. See you soon.
Bye.